The reason why I love checking it first before we get fully into the program is because once you get into it, number one, I just face the camera. I don't even read the comment for a very lengthy period of time. And it is better to find out that everything is perfect. And how is the picture on your screen? How is the picture? So share the broadcast. Tell your friends. Tell them that Maiyegun is live. I have a lot of stories to tell you tonight. But listen, as we do here when we gather at the temple of truth, you listen to the connecting stories that eventually will lead to the answers. Answers to your question. For example, how did we get here? Why is this becoming so impossible to convince majority of Nigerians that they can still build Nigeria? Why is it that more and more people are demanding for the renegotiation and the total breakup of the country so that they can have their peace? Why? There are stories behind this. Although some people don't like stories, they love people who can come and tell them, oh, we're going to do that, oh, we're going to do this, and the rest of that. But here is the point. Understanding the problem, especially for those who haven't really understood it better, understanding the problem will give you a clearer picture, idea, or a possible understanding of how to tackle a problem. And so those who have found that truth and telling you that there is no way forward, before you arrive at that truth, then you won't be arguing with them or fighting them, or they won't be sounding like, lunatics to you because of what they are telling you that sounded so impossible to you. That is why these stories are necessary. And I'm going to tell you that story. Yes, they are stories that will tell you why making much effort to try to make it work in Nigeria is a waste of effort, life, and time. And I don't think it's worth it. We'd rather dedicate most of our time educating ourselves, enlightening ourselves, and mobilizing ourselves for something that genuinely will change our lives, no matter how impossible they claim it to be for us. Share the broadcast. Tell them Maiyegun is live. And for your information, right, it seems that the figure of speech back then that we heard of a trap was what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's appearance in Nigeria is to Nigeria, but they seems to have fallen into it. Now they are going to be, criminalized for it too. Nigeria will become a pariah state. Exactly what and where those who want to expose the rot and the lie about Nigeria, exactly where they want Nigeria to be. But good enough for those who haven't really arrived at that conclusion yet. Yeah, the events that will be happening from now on will give you an idea of what Nigeria you are actually living in, and the one they made you believe that you are living in. The Southern governor said they are going to promulgate a law in September to ban open grazing. And then they came out to say they want the next president to come from the South, which expectedly should be, nobody should even debate that if there was genuine arrangement for that. But it is not going to happen. And the Northern Nigeria have told them. The Northern governors have responded, and they've told the Southern governors that, no, you can't just go to one conference and meet somewhere and say the next president should come from you. Who told you that you have that right to say that? Everyone is free to contest it, and whoever wins it becomes the next president. But there is a reason why they have to say that too. You see, Boko Haram that came in and brought this impunity to fore, where everybody from every part of Nigeria now know where they belong, right? And for those of their elites who hold power but cannot protect their people, they cannot create prosperity, rather poverty and terrorism. So far, their people have been victims, just like the rest of Nigeria have been victims of their fraudulent regime, something that I call the incompetent terrorist in charge. Now, for 6 years now, Okay, they have made an average Fulani believe that he is superior, he is better, he is more kind of covered in Nigeria than any other Nigerian. And I said, you see this road that Bokwari was treading then, I said, this road will lead to the rest of the Fulanis in Nigeria, to become ostracized from the rest of other tribes and other nationalities in Nigeria, because that is exact achievement of Bokwari in 6 years. Now, the fear of them losing that power. You know, when Bokwari came in and he was putting his people everywhere, in the military, in the judiciary, filling them up everywhere, NNPC, CBN, everywhere, filling them up. And they said he could choose from anywhere. Now, they know that that 8 years, finally, no matter what they do, the 8 years will come, Abi, and they will have to leave. And 2 ways they have to do it is, 1, they control INEC, they control everything that has to happen, or how you probably make anybody emerge as your president anytime, right? They do that. So why would they give that up? What does the South have? What do you have to fight them? What can you do? They know that, right? They will tell you that let's go for an election. Okay? And in that regard, they said do electoral reform so that you can be able to account for every registered voter, and every vote can count. And when people cast their votes, transmit that result electronically to their data bank or so. So when they passed the bill for electoral reform, they agreed that they should conduct the election using the electronics, right? But they should not transfer the results, because that's, you know, it's in Nigeria, it is not those who vote that determines who wins. It is those who count the votes. Do you get that now? Meanwhile, they don't count votes in Nigeria, really. They write results. So that's why they say, no, don't transfer that, because that is where their power lies. Small kids, you know, kids of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 years, they have voters card, the same voters card that has become, you know, essential, no, not even like a scarce commodity in southern Nigeria. So there are 2 ways of going about it. Let's pretend that there will be an election. But the election at the end of the day will produce one thing, another Fulani terrorist. Now, if that is not going to probably work, then why not just create the chaos whereby it will give him the power? Because their fake book called Constitution allows him, the Boko Haram and his Malami and co, to declare martial law. And according to them, we'll just scream. And the northern governors know this. So that's why they came out. But the first person that came out to condemn them, but let's take it a bit. Why is it that nobody wants to sit and discuss how to make Nigeria better anymore? There is a reason for it. Nigeria should be primarily from 1957 to 1960, the vision and the plan of those who agreed to a one Nigeria arrangement for independence, right, was that Nigeria was going to be a parliamentary system of government, right? So where you have 4 regions, just like you have them in the UK. You have the England, which is the biggest by land, by, you know, population. So northern Nigeria will be the England of United Kingdom of Nigeria. Western Nigeria, which was the western region, right, will be probably the Scotland of Nigeria. Eastern region, right, which is the Biafra land, will be the Northern Ireland. Then let's now use that later created Midwestern region. Let's use them as Wales. So in a parliamentary system, it means that Yorubas can have their own system of government. They will have their own parliament. They have their own elected representatives, and they have their own premier. The premier is the leader of the leading party in that region. Same happens everywhere. Do you get that now? Now, whenever it comes to the national conversation, the agreement will be when it comes to defense, right? Yorubas, they will have their own regiments of security, right? That they can be contributing to the National Guard. They will call them the National Guard, which you will call the military or Air Force or whatever you want to call them. So the Biafrans will also contribute the numbers of National Guard from their region. They will say, okay, the Northerners will also contribute their own regiment. For security, that arrangement means that somebody will be probably the prime minister. And the prime minister is the head of government of that country. What does he oversee? He will oversee defense, maybe currency, because in Scotland, we have our own money. In England, they have their own money. If you go to Northern Ireland, they have their own money. I've not been to Wales. I don't know if they have their own currency there. So when you go to Northern Ireland in the UK, you will see Irish pounds. If you come to Scotland, you will get Scottish pounds. If you go to England, you will get English pounds. This was the vision. And that was what should have been the practicability of an independent Nigeria, something that gives each region their own independence, whereby they can legislate on everything that exists within their border without anybody from anywhere telling them what to do and when to do it. That was the arrangement. That was something that could have breed respect, honor. So that the Biafrans who are saying, like you have this insecurity in northern Nigeria and insecurity everywhere now, that will be impossible to do. Because number one, you will not see the English put themselves together and they say they want to claim land in Scotland. Because are they not all the United Kingdom? Are they not the biggest? Are they not those who can decide anything? Are they not the ones who have the largest number in the parliament and all of that? But there is respect. Because there's an arrangement that brought them together. Yes, they came together to be a country after a historical battle that eventually made them together. But that arrangement also had an agreement. That was what Nigeria should be. That was what they destroyed. Then they brought something called, they started talking something about true federalism. True federalism. So what is true federalism? When they destroyed that arrangement of a real independence, by today, before I get to the true federalism, by today, if the arrangement was left on, the issue of breaking up or Biafra Republic, Oduduwa Republic, Arewa Republic, and any other republic that want to leave Nigeria, if they have left that arrangement back then, by now, we won't need to fight ourselves. You know why? The northern Nigeria can't intimidate you because they control the Nigerian military. They can't. Because that Nigerian military will comprise of all the regiments from all the regions who are contributed from those regions to the National Guard. So if you want to fight the region, they will call all their own military back. Their men, they will call them back because they will have the right to call them back to their region. So that means you want to wage war from your region against other region. That is something that you have to think twice. So like they have this insecurity now. This is the moment you will see people say, oh, let us contribute the National Guard. National Guard. The Igbos will put, the Biafrans will say, oh, we have about 150,000 ready-made security forces, trained combatants in Biafra land as part of Nigeria. Now that they have this terrorism in northern Nigeria, killing people, kidnapping people, we want to contribute to that. And we want to contribute to the defense of the northern Nigeria. Do you understand that? That's the respect. Something that will make an Hausa man, a Fulani woman, a Yoruba man feel proud to go and defend their fellow brother up north, being attacked by the invading terrorists, whether they were brought by their politicians or not, it will be easier to say they cannot be attacking northern Nigeria, because when they finish with northern Nigeria, they are coming for us. We are smaller than them. And if they conquer them, they are coming for us. That would have been easier. But they destroyed that in 1966. So that never happened again. With that, they told us to forget our identity. You cannot say you are from Western region anymore. Just say you are Nigerian. You cannot say you are Biafran anymore. Just say you are from the Eastern Nigeria. Or you are a Nigerian. So this has been the battle of forced identity that never really received the blessing of the people they want to be part of it. And that is one of the reasons why Nigeria was never together. But they used force. Then they came back again with a lie of a true federalism, federal system of government. What is federal system of government? And let's put it this way: Federal Republic of Nigeria. So a federal system of government is a system of government where there are federating units who come together and agreed to be one country under a federating constitution or a federating authority. Federating units coming together to form a center with a federal authority coming together. We never came together. Gowon created states. He said if Biafrans declared Biafra Republic, it was going to create core states. For those who remember that. And the core states are the states that they now call the what do you call it? They now cut off the Biafran, and they call them the Niger Delta, South. Because it was Gowon. He started it. And he did it, and others build on it. It wasn't all these people who came together to say, we want to be a federation. So they went to America. They said, oh, we're going to start American system of a federal system of government. In America has 50 states. You see all these 50 states, they are independent states on their own. Okay? So you know how America works is that you see all those states, there's something called the Article of Independence that actually brought all of them together. Those things you hear about America: amendment, First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment, and other amendments like that. Many of these amendments were the amendment that were the agreement that brought in all these states together. Nobody created them. Are you following me? Nobody sat and created 50 states in America. No. There is no people who came together and say, okay, let us create states. No. These were independent confederate regions of the United, who later became the United States of America. And when they came together, they did not surrender their sovereignty. And that is why they have what is called the Fourth Amendment, that no president, nobody, I don't know if I live long enough, maybe that will change. Nobody will take away their guns, because they know that the moment the government take away your gun, the government has disarmed you. The government can then do anything to you. But when government knows that you have every right to defend yourself against any unprovoked attack, and if the government is the attacker, you can stage a revolution, a gun-wielding revolution, and no government in America will try that. You know why? You will be fighting even the people that support you when you try that in America. But in Nigeria, they gave you a false pseudo-federalism, a unitary system. There are some people can tell you what they think you want, what they believe you deserve. They are smarter than you. They are this and that. And at the end of the day, that has brought a divided Nigeria. That's how we got here. True federalism means, even if you have now created all these states, you have to give the people the choice to say they want to be called those states you created. Because there were no states. They were created for political reasons, to ensure that the Biafrans never have the numbers to fight back the Fulani oligarchs that took over the reign of government of Nigeria since 1966, the revenge coupists. Now they have the power. Their people are not safe. No one is safe. They are telling us that we can't defend ourselves. And that is why they decided to kidnap Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And they've committed a crime, a grave one. But again, we are talking about somebody who has led Nigeria to a pariah state before, who worked with a junta, Abacha junta, that led Nigeria to become a pariah state as well. So it won't be a surprise to doing it again. But there is something that is called confusion here. People can't defend themselves. We can't talk about it. We are labeled terrorists. When you talk about it, they called us troublemakers. But look around you. People who have the power to make people like us, people who have the power to stop all the bloodshed, all the killings, so that they can make people like us stop talking. Stop talking genuinely, right? They chose not to. Rather, they became deaf, dumb, and blind to all of this. And if you speak up, your voice is considered a voice of dissent, and you will be considered a terrorist. What did they do to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? The Biafrans said the injustice that they are facing in Nigeria, the profiling is real, to the point that an average Nigerian will tell you that if you ask him or her, why do you think everybody, or why is it so hard for everyone in Nigeria to begin the reconciliation of the unity, of that unity they are talking about, by conceding the presidency of Nigeria to the Igbos? Just pull their legs, ask them. They will tell you 1,001 useless reasons why they cannot trust the Igbos. Great. If you can't trust them, can you let them go? No, they can't. If they want to go, they have to ask their representatives. They have to ask this. Are you talking about the same people that are in bed with one Nigeria who gave them to you to kill in the first place? Are you saying those are the people that they should speak to? Of course. When people tell you that you have to do something right or the right way, listen to this. People say Nnamdi Kanu and the IPOB members are not doing it the right way. People are also now blaming Oloye Sunday Igboho for not doing it the right way. But when you ask them, what is the right way to doing it? They have no right way. But you see, the right way sometimes is that they said you should join politics. They are rigged political system that will just make you validate the fraud and then silence you forever. So they said they participate in their politics. I said, okay, what if I don't want to participate in their politics? Does that simply mean that I don't have the right, or we, millions of us, don't have the right to question the way things are and demand for a change of that? They said, well, if you try that, you will be working against so many interests. So therefore, the Biafrans that cannot have it and they cannot let them go deserves to be humiliated. And in doing so, they decided to break international law too, which indeed made this whole thing sound similar to the setup, as it is called. But here is the deal. Nigeria has committed a great crime, a crime of abduction. What Nigeria did with Kenya will go a long way in destroying the remaining tatters of, the tattered image of Nigeria under this Bukwari regime, okay? They abducted somebody from another country, drugged him, and then took him to Nigeria. Somebody broke that down properly. Before I come to the South, all right? What is the implication of that, right? And then afterward, I'm going to take you to these guys who have told us that the southern Nigeria governor, they are not different from Sunday Igboho. They are not different from Nnamdi Kanu. In retrospect, they are calling the southern governors, these northern rogues, they are calling the southern governors, they are calling them what they have accused Nnamdi Kanu and Sunday Igboho of. And what have they accused them of? They accused them of being the problem of Nigeria. Simply because people said, we don't want the Fulani terrorists in our forest anymore. That automatically made them criminals. I will take you to Kaduna too. You will see what the criminals are really doing to these criminals in power. And there are people who are the victims, are being geared up now. Because you see that issue of trust. which has completely collapsed in Nigeria, as much as they pretend about it, that trust in the next 18, or what do you call it? I think in the next 20 to 23 months, this whole charade will reach its crescendo, and the fear that an average Fulani man and woman has been harboring will come to reality. There will be no Bukwari anymore to shield you while they kill you. Do you get what I mean now? And another fear is that you see all those people they put in those positions, they are so scared that if the power should go to the south, now that Bukwari has taught everybody how to be ethnic jingoists and should not be one stupid idiot to be promoting one Nigeria, and you know what I mean? So they are scared that if a Southerner become the president in 2023, they are going to suffer. Right? But somebody explained the consequences of what they did to Nnamdi Kanu. I'll take it from there.
Legitimacy. Let's help us understand what is the accepted mode of rearrest in such a way that it doesn't breach a person's human rights.
Yes, it's not the person's human rights per se. It's international law.
International law. Right.
And I must say this, it's quite, and I share the view that, look, what the Nigerian government did in bringing Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria is extraordinary. Extraordinary in so many sense. What they are saying is that it was due to collaboration between the Nigerian government and other agencies. Well, that is the government marking their homework. And that's not the way to go. And that is something we need to condemn. I'm not saying we shouldn't bring Nnamdi Kanu to justice, but let us follow the proper procedure. And the proper procedure is to have a proper extradition hearing, whereby Nnamdi Kanu will be able to explain to a proper court that, look, I must not be extradited to Nigeria because of this reason or whatever. And there's one important point. Listening to the Attorney General and others, nobody has shown us an extradition order that this man should go back to Nigeria and face his criminal trial. And the extradition is a formal process whereby you bring a fugitive who is running from justice from one country back to that country to go and face trial or serve the punishment. And I used the word formal. It is not something you do through the diplomatic maneuvering.
Right.
It is not something you do by just going there, you pick the person, you put him in the plane, and then the moment they wake up, they are in Nigeria. And in this case, it is very concerning that even in Kenya, the brother said he was speaking Kenya.
Yes.
That is a credible source. Let's believe the brother. Let's leave others who are saying maybe it was a honey trap or a sugar babe and all this cock and bull story. But even in Kenya, they have a law there, and that law is called Extradition Commonwealth law. Is called Extradition Commonwealth Countries Act, and it has been there since 1968. And for you to extradite, once you pick that fugitive, the best thing you do, you must apply in the magistrate court in Kenya. And the offense in which you want to extradite must be an extradition offense. Kanu is facing terrorism charge in Nigeria. If you look at the Commonwealth Act in Kenya, terrorism is not an extradition offense. And also, most countries, they don't extradite people if the offense is such that has a political character. One. Two, they don't extradite people if the person, if convicted of that offense in that country,
right,
is going to face death penalty or capital punishment. Even in the UK, you cannot extradite people to a country where they are going to face death penalty to start with. The only way you can do it is to get assurance from the receiving nation that, look, if you extradite him, we are not going to impose the death penalty. If that assurance is not there, they won't. And also, another point is that if you are extraditing them to a country where they are going to face degrading and inhuman treatment, the courts in that country will not allow you to extradite. The Nigerian government, they are aware of all this. That's why they engage in whatever they might have done to get him to, because they know once they bring him before the court, there will be a lot of legal arguments here and there, and Kanu may not come here. And also, it is possible for Mr. Kanu to argue that, look, the only reason why they want me to come to court, because I'm agitating from separation, there are a lot of issues in Nigeria, this and that. They are punishing us because of what has happened in the past. We are being marginalized. This. So when you look at all that, then it is possible for the court to rule that, look, this offense has a political character, and there might be other.
So
but
could this be why he wasn't picked up in the UK, as a lot of persons thought?
Well, if they pick him in the UK, he won't come to Nigeria in a million years. I can tell you that because I'm a solicitor there. Number one, the Human Rights Act forbids you, under Article 3, sending people to a country where they are going to face inhuman, degrading treatment. The prison condition in
I hope that explains it too, because I know Fee explain them better. I decided to use that video because that person is a legal mind and is speaking from the legal point. He's not speaking from the Buhari idiot or cyberbarians point, okay? These are not people who have mind or who can really think, sincerely. And no apology to you, by the way. They don't think. They don't reason. They are not logical. You get what I mean now? That's why they have a megad, like Bokwari in charge. Same thing they did. And that's exactly why, and that's what will be discussed in the UK Parliament. Yes. UK, you may say that UK is part of it. I don't trust the UK. Listen to me. You don't have to trust the UK. The fact that the UK is dragged into this, they have a lot to prove, even to you, that they are not part of this. You don't have to trust them. They don't need it, okay? But they have a lot to prove now. And the people back here in the UK, the parliament, once they pick it up and it becomes an issue, somebody is going to ask Boris Johnson in one of the prime minister question and answer time. And that is going to be a big improvement, a big boost for the Biafran struggle, because indeed, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's abduction has a political undertone. They want to kill him in Nigeria. And I'm so happy that it's not just the UK Parliament that will be discussing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafra struggle. The American Congress are also, they have been discussing it already. But for this new kidnapping and abduction, right, it has taken it to the new level. Nigeria set themselves up under Bokwari because these are not logical people. These are criminals who are best in kidnapping. Or else, what explanation can you give for the invasion of Sunday Igboho's house? Sunday Igboho never kidnapped anybody. He never threatened anybody. He never attacked anybody. No time there was any fight with anybody anywhere. Why would they go to his house in the middle of the night? Somebody has a better explanation too for what they should do. It is ridiculous, but that is the reality of Nigeria today. Well, after this, we are going to go to Kaduna. If you have the time, sit back and let's hear from Mazi Professor Wale Soyinka. He has this to say about the invasion of Sunday Igboho's house. Watch.
Professor Wale Soyinka, thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure.
A lot has happened since the last time we spoke in February. Then we saw Sunday Igboho coming out to take a stand to defend his people from what he called attacks from herdsmen, the killing of farmers, raping of women, and invading of the people's farmlands. He came out to take a stand to defend his people. But what we have today is a situation where the DSS have claimed responsibility for raiding his home, taking responsibility for killing 2 people who they say attacked them, and declared Sunday Igboho wanted. How do you react to this?
Well, I react to what has happened on so many levels, including even reportage. For instance, going through the papers, one prominent and respected papers, there's a sentence which said, for instance, the government had moved against secessionists and other criminals. Now, that's a very loaded and wrongful expression. Would-be secessionists, and other criminals. How can you place the will or the wish for separation as a criminal act? That kind of language does not exist in the Constitution, doesn't exist in law. It should not exist in the catalogue of moralities, because it's not an immoral act or position to say that you want to stop belonging to an entity, or even you want to join another entity, because people take a very simplistic approach to so-called secession. Sometimes it just means I want to leave this group and join another group. And we've had examples like that before and after independence. The Ghana, Guinea Union, for instance. And we've had also, even after independence, the separation by fiat of Bakassi awarded to another nation. I mean, it was not just goats and cattle which existed there, it was human beings. They were not asked where they wanted to belong, but with a stroke of the pen, for certain political reasons, consolidated by succeeding governments, the Bakassi people were ceded to the Cameroon. And before that, of course, we had the plebiscite in the Cameroon region, in which a group, the section decided to go with Cameroon, another section to stay with Nigeria. So why on earth, in the name of justice, should anyone classify those who wish to secede or rejoin another nation as criminals? That's wrong, and that is playing the devil's game. It's playing the government claim. Why do I position? Look at the raid, this very bizarre raid, midnight raid, on a law-abiding citizen, which the government now says netted a number of illegal weapons, AK-47s, etc., ammunition. We're now in a situation where, of course, Igboho is saying that these weapons were not there, they were planted. Now, that's one aspect. We can deal with that later on. But more important for me was the position of the government, saying that the existence of these weapons, quote-unquote existence, in Igboho's place, proved that he was planning war against the state. Now, that position, that statement, very loaded statement, was simply to conflate, deliberately to conflate issues. It was to obscure the fact that Igboho and other people, myself included, have been decrying the depredations on the lives of law-abiding citizens, farmers especially, throughout the whole nation, Benue, Kaduna, Nasarawa, etc., and saying that it's time, and not just civilians. Danjuma, at one stage, called on the people, said, don't trust the military anymore. Defend yourselves, whichever way you can. And other governors, some governors, other voices like governors, have made exactly the same statement. Now, Igboho, even if he had those weapons, he's claiming that his mission was to liberate his people from the tyranny of squatters who now become violent overlords. And he has a good cause in that sense. Testimonies of citizens, farmers especially, who have been brutalized, dehumanized by these squatters who have acknowledged and identified themselves as Fulani, that this decades and decades of this kind of anomalous situation in which the people did not receive the necessary, mandatory, and entitled defense and protection by the security forces, in which sometimes it is the victims who've been jailed, put in prison. There is a recent case in Ibarakba, for instance. We read the personal testimonies of those who were arrested and detained by the police simply for going to challenge those who were tyrannizing over the existence and raping their women. So now, you have a situation where a government is saying, oh yes, the existence of these weapons means that Igboho was planning armed insurrection against the state. So the whole thing from beginning to the end just stinks. The raid, the motivation has become very, absolutely implausibly, degraded. And right now we're in the kind of situation which we have warned against. We called on the government to accept its responsibilities. And when eventually now citizens say, enough, we're going to protect ourselves, you say they are arming against the state. A language which we never used to describe or to accuse those who have been proven to be the aggressors in this case. So where are we, you tell me?
After raiding his home, the DSS had come out to say that Sunday Igboho is wanted and that he should turn himself in. What would you advise he does in this situation?
Well, my advice is not even so much Igboho, but to the government, that they should stop pursuing this person as a criminal. Because you have begun by acting in a criminal fashion against him. Because if and when Igboho comes to trial, I guarantee you it's the government which will be very, very embarrassed. Very embarrassed. So it's not even in the interest of the government. I think they should just tell Igboho, we made a mistake. We should not have acted in this way. You are no longer wanted. Please go back to your home. In fact, escort him to his home, quietly, and let him resume his normal life. To declare.
Yes, that's the view of Professor Wole Soyinka. I don't think I could put it better as well, but maybe that's another view that you can add to mine. I've, sort of shared mine many times on this issue. Okay, Igboho is not a criminal. He's committed no crime. Having guns to protect yourselves with what it stands for is not a gun to an insurrection, to stage an insurrection against Nigeria, but Nigeria just doing that to criminalize him in order to kill him and then silence us forever. Why their Fulani terrorists will be going berserk on our people. They are doing it already. Okay. And when the southern governors came out to say, oh, we are going to take our turn, whether you like it or not, the North says, no, we don't like it. And don't talk to us like that again. I'm coming back to that. Let's go to Kaduna. The reason why you should never support them or join them in killing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or killing any IPOB member or ESN member or Oloye Sunday Igboho for that matter is because when you support them to do that, one day you are going to be here and then we'll be talking about what is happening in Kaduna. Same thing will be happening in Ibadan. It will be happening in Ondo. It will be happening in Abeokuta, inside your Lagos state and many places that would then put you to that shouldn't be a shock but reality of what you should know. If you don't now join those who are demanding for something better. And what is better? Break up this contraption. Please do it. Please. Somebody said, come home and do it for us. I mean, if they are not going to criminalize it like they are doing right now with the misinformation they have given to many of you, brainwashed you, and then turned you to ignorant lots everywhere. If you are not going to see somebody asking for a conversation around how they are being governed and how they want to be governed, if you don't see that as a death sentence where you're going to mob and kill them, of course I will book my ticket and come back home and talk to my people as well, which I'm going to do anyway, whether you actually still a mob or a lunatic that you are. It's not that you can actually really do anything. All right. But that's a story for me. That's a conversation for another day. But let's do that before we turn to Kaduna. You heard about the kidnapping of Bethel Baptist High School students. Oh boy, they are not the only one. Before they kidnapped the Bethel, this happened in Kaduna. And I think I'm going to start with that before we go further, okay? Before we get to that of the students. What they are doing in the north, you ask yourself as a northerner, who will now protect you if Boko Haram couldn't protect you? If all the northern governors who considered every time the south come together to do something in one accord, they consider
It was around.
They consider that as an affront, a challenge to the north. You as a northerner, by the time Boko Haram has no power anymore, who do you think will protect you then? Stop all this madness. Maybe you would do it. Let's go to Kaduna.
It was around 1 o'clock a.m.
Sorry, I think that reminds me. On my YouTube page right now, I have over 2,000 of my friends watching. Only 480 of you, after almost 50 minutes, could actually give that thumb up. You can do that, all right, while you watch this video.
It was around 1 o'clock a.m. that we just had different guns in all the locations. It seemed like they have taken over the town. So, and they continue to shoot, but at the end of the day, people started screaming. They were screaming, and in fact, some of us, even at our door, they will come and they push into people's house. And at the end of the day, we discovered that 10 of our people were abducted and 2 were killed. And this is the state now. And besides that, these people were saying that they were the small group, that their big people will be coming back. And so we don't know what we have done to them, and we don't know what to do now. We're in the hands of the government. We wish the government should find solution to put security stand here so that our life will be secured and our property.
The State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Mr. Samuel Arrrasing, who led security operatives to the affected communities, describes the incident as terrible, assuring them that everything possible will be done to stop the violence.
We've lost about 7 citizens. 4 of many citizens that were kidnapped in Kakao General area of Chukun local government were shot dead yesterday, and 1 other person was killed in Galadima General area of Giwa local government. And in the early hours of today, 3rd July 2021, we got a distress call from Iri Station in Kajuru local government, and 2 citizens were killed. So we came here to see things for ourselves. We came here with security agencies for a general assessment that I cannot be able to talk more about it. But from what we have all seen, you can see issue of mobility, accessibility to this place is also a major.
You see, accessibility to so many rural communities in Nigeria is next to impossible. So even when they are under attack, they are likely never going to get help until the following day or the following week. In some cases, they will never get the help at all. And when they go there with cameras, they go there with all the guns. But when they need them, they will never find the security to protect them, okay? Thank you so much, my friends. They jumped it up from 400 to over 700. So you haven't done yours. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, you haven't given that thumb up. Engage with that video as you are there, okay? Give me one there. Let's go to DB. What happened at Bethel? Bethel High School in Kaduna, where they took over 165 students. They said 17 have returned. Over 140 are unaccounted for, are still missing because they are in the hands of their captors. Look at their parents from Kaduna.
News of an early morning abduction of students from Bethel Baptist School in Kaduna brings anxious parents and other relatives rushing down to the premises of the boarding school located along Kaduna-Kachia Road, Chikun local government area of the state.
What will I tell her? What will I tell her?
Attacks on schools are now becoming common in Kaduna State, with many families sleeping less at night, worried about the next target.
God, is this me? No. God, I have to tell you, I am not pleased. Father, in Jesus' name.
Now they raise their voices in prayers, individually and collectively, seeking divine intervention for the safe return of their children.
It's only the students that were taken away. None of the staff is among them. So for me to meet the house master, who's in charge of them here, he too was able to escape with his own family. He managed to send his wife there on the other wall there and cross to call for rescue. And that thing happened, as you were saying, is about 15 minutes after 1. That was then. And the whole operation starts in 15 minutes time to its own due, not knowing that they have placed all over.
According to eyewitness reports, the attackers stormed the school early Monday morning and began shooting to cause panic before abducting the students. 4 were lucky to escape, but it's not clear how many were taken away.
Here people, they drag, they do. I just wake up, I say who I thought that my student won't see me. So as they say, hey, open that door, if not I will shoot you. And I tell them, say, me I know well, the hand know well. So I say I cannot open the door. So he forced the door and pushed the door open. He said, bring all your answers and money. We say, see the money when we have. We go open our box, remove the money when they pay us the day before yesterday. Then we give them. They say, okay, nothing, no any money again. I say, no money. We are two. So they said, oh, let's go. I say, oh God, see my leg, I know where. Wait, come on, let's go. So I begin to follow them. As we reached there, they said I should come back. Then they carry my second go.
Security operatives not far from the school attempted to repel the attack. 2 of them lost their lives in the process. The attack comes the day after bandits also abducted several people, including infants, from the residential quarters of the National Tuberculosis and Leprosy Center in Zaria, Kaduna State, on Sunday.
Grim, isn't it? Scary. That is going to be our fate in the southern Nigeria. If you are still pretty much there thinking that, oh, the reason why this whole thing is happening is because some people don't like Buhari. And I keep asking, if people who don't like Buhari is the reason why this is happening, what happened to those of you who love Buhari? If Buhari is going to go for 3rd term, all of you will still want him to continue. What happened to your love? Because your love doesn't exist. It's so fake and it's so sad that you are living that fake life. Somebody put it better. Before I come back to the South, and let's face the brickbats between the Southern governors. And this person that I'm going to play his video, right? He's not even a member of APCO. But let me tell you something. As Fulani, it doesn't matter where they are, whether PDP, APC, whether your church, whether your mosque, anywhere you find them, you get me? It is the same agenda, especially their elite. The guy said, banning open grazing in southern Nigeria is going to divide Nigeria. How does that make any sense? Let me even say this before I play you this. In fact, let me play it first before I say this. All right? Not the guy, but this woman. It's not a new video. It's an old one. Somebody was putting it in the comment section. They're asking, is this broadcast live? You see, let me tell you guys, right? If you want to know that if Maiyegun is live, okay? When you see Maiyegun General, the date, then you see this in green on your screen. Number one, it will show you that I'm live, right? But if you see this, all this complete raw, that is Maiyegun live. I am live. And if you watch it after, it simply means it is a live streamed broadcast. When you see premiering is for my friends who actually missed my live broadcast. They don't know how to watch 2 hours video. That's so much. So premiering is when we have cut the videos into some sizes to address certain points at each segment of the broadcast, right? So when you see that, that may be a video you missed the live stream, okay? So when you see me with this, just know that Maiyegun is live. Anywhere you see this on, just know that Maiyegun is live, not a repeat. But when you don't see this, when it's premiering, you won't see these dates. We have done so well now that you won't see the date, okay? But it will just be a repeat, all right? So listen to this, Ajia. This is not a new video, but it is very relevant for this conversation. What they are doing in northern Nigeria that you are reading about from the southern Nigeria, and you think those who are pulling up all this pushback, they are doing so because they don't like Buhari, or because they don't like Tifnumbu, or because they don't like blah, 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 or they don't like the North. Buhari doesn't like the North. None of those jihadists in Nigerian government likes your northern Nigeria. They don't like the North. If you look at it very well, this terrorism that is pushing the southern Nigeria to take all these measures, right? The victims of this terrorism, the most people who are the victims are the northern Nigeria. Shouldn't Buhari be channeling resources in ending that instead of paying them? So don't think Southerners don't love you as a Northerner, okay? Those who don't really love you, and they have proved it to you, are those who have the power to protect you, but they choose not to protect you. They have the power to take you out of the current economic woe, but they choose not to, okay? But they were preparing you to hate the South or continue to blame the South for why Nigeria is not settled. It's your prerogative, okay? Use it. But it is not right. That you are told that doesn't mean that it's right, okay? But this woman, Ajia, explained it better. Then I'm going to take you back to Lagos, where the southern governors took that decision that is now making all these northern terrorists, they call them the caliphate jihadists. They are running belly. We're going to come to Lagos soon, but watch this first.
Understand that. And then secondly, there is the irresponsibility of a political and military elite in Nigeria. The irresponsibility of the political elite by cashing in on this poverty. We all know what started Boko Haram. Everybody knows. It was started in Borno by the then Borno governor, Ali Sharif. He's still roaming the streets freely. Yes, when Yusuf was caught alive, who created it? The ECOMOG. Who created the ECOMOG? We have to look at the root cause in order to find a solution. The root cause of that problem, as we know it today, is Ali Sharif. He used them for his own political machinery. He armed them as his political thirds. He even made one of them a commissioner. But they became too powerful. And they had no option but to try an elimination, which was not possible, and which we are all paying for. The military came in, and they cashed in. And they have turned the Northeast into a cash cow. Military jumbo budgets. Unaccounted for. I remember Jonathan was spending 2 billion naira every day on security. But there was no security. Hundreds and thousands of our people were slaughtered. And we also know that the army, more than anything else in Borno and Yobe, have contributed and enforced this so-called terrorism. Terrorism has become a multi-billion-dollar industry. It is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It is not only national, but it is international. But let us talk of Nigeria, because that is what concerns me. We know, I have been part of a committee that investigated the atrocities of the Boko Haram. And that committee indicted the military more than anything else. There is no house in Borno that the military has not either killed or raped or plundered. There is no house in Borno. There has been committee after committee set up by the government. And the government has failed to bring these people to book. In fact, this current leadership of the military in Nigeria today are an extension of that one. And this government has failed to even acknowledge the reports of those investigations. We all know today that in this government, papers have been given, investigations have been made into the atrocities and the corruption in the military. We all know today that the Air Force, the papers or the investigation of the Air Force has been made public. That of the Navy has been made public. But that of the Army has been swept under the carpet by this government, because they are not only sustaining it, they are not only retaining those culprits, but they are still serving in various capacities in this government, as a government that is supposed to be fighting corruption more than any other place.
That's part. And you know what she's talking about? This, like I said, is an old video. Those she was referring to then, Buratai the Butcher and his friends, they are now ambassadors. Buratai the Butcher, I think they said Buratai the Butcher is ambassador to where? Cameroon or Togo? Nigeria ambassador to Togo, or I don't know. And they send Oloni Shakin and the rest of them to other places to avoid jail or prosecution for their collaboration in killing Nigerians, the people they promised to protect. But the southern governor said, well, before I go to the south, despite all the killings, including in Katsina, 19 people killed in Katsina just yesterday, I think, yeah. Their governor came out yesterday and he said, people should try and fight the bandits. Use your teeth. Use catapult. I don't understand Hausa. You can help me.
Da gonarka ka yake shi wajibi ne, ko da hakuri ne ka cije shi. Ina bakan danko yake. Mutanen mu wai abubuwan da ya kamata su yi wa'ansu abubuwa masu dama masu ba'i. Ana jiran ko brigadier aiko da sojoji ko 'yan sanda su zo ko a ce a turo jirgin sama. Yiwa za su yi nasu aikin, amma aikin zai fi nasara.
Use your teeth, use your teeth to bite the terrorists. Use everything you have to fight, including catapult. Now, so the Katsina boys. Katsina, that's the governor of Katsina, Bello Masari. Katsina is where Bukwari comes from, the Megad, the living breeding Maiyegun inside Aso Rock.